Introduction. The surface of the earth is varied. Have you ever wondered why there are so many different landforms? Let us find out. There is movement under the earth's surface. The plates or large slabs of solid rock are driven by the heat of the layers below them. When these plates crash into each other, various kinds of landforms such as the mountains, plateaus and other relief features are formed on the surface of the earth. Just as there are movements within the earth's interior, there are movements on the surface of the earth too. All these movements or processes work together to create the different landforms or relief features. The processes through which various landforms take shape are of two types. The first process is called endogenic or internal process. For example, earthquakes and volcanoes are unpredictable and take place suddenly. The second process is called exogenic or external process that acts rather slowly. Winds, rain, and ice are some major examples of landforms created by this process. The landforms created by the internal processes are further modified by external processes. The external forces act in two ways, causing deposits or the process of leaving a layer of material carried by rivers, ocean currents, wind on rocks or soil, and erosion or the process of wearing down of the land surface by water, ice and wind. The sand dune has been formed by the buildup or deposit of sand which has been carried by the wind. The rock formation in the picture on this page developed after its sides were eroded or washed away by the action of rainwater. The landforms on the earth's surface are classified into three main types depending on elevation and slope: mountains, plateaus and plains. Mountains. The mountains are the most striking of all landforms. These are high features with steep slopes and a peak. They stand out from the surroundings. Mountains rarely stand alone. They are generally found in a long chain or range. They cover 20% of the land surface. Many mountain systems extend over hundreds of kilometers. Mountains are mostly cold and inhabitable. Some mountains have frozen rivers of ice known as glaciers. The harsh climate, less oxygen, steep slopes and high velocity of winds result in low density of population. There are three important types of mountains based on their formation. Let us understand them. Fold mountains. Fold mountains are formed when the land in between is pushed up due to pressure. The result is a wave-like formation. The upfold or anticline is the fold mountain. The downfold or syncline is the valley. So, two landforms are created here, fold mountains and valleys. The Himalayas are fold mountains that were formed when the Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate. The Alps in Europe are fold mountains. The Aravalli Range in India is one of the oldest fold mountains in the world. Block mountains. Block mountains are formed when two plates pushing against each other cause pressure to build, resulting in a fracture. These fractures are commonly called faults. These cracks may break the crust of the earth into blocks. When a block of land slips down or is thrown up, block mountains are formed. The uplifted section is called a horst. These represent the block mountain. The cliff-like slope formed as a result is called a scarp or escarpment. The down-thrown blocks are called rift valleys. The Vosges in France is an example of block mountain. The down-thrown block is covered by the river Rhine. Volcanic mountains. The cone-shaped mountains that are formed by volcanoes are called volcanic mountains. Lava and gases are thrown up by a wind on the Earth's surface. This lava often solidifies and forms a mountain around the wind. The top of such a mountain often have a bowl-shaped depression called a crater. Mount Fuji in Japan is an example of a volcanic mountain. It is also the highest mountain in Japan. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is another example of a volcanic mountain. It is the highest mountain in the world from the bottom of the seafloor to its peak. Significance of mountains. Mountains form an ecosystem wherever they occur. While mountains provide for the people living on them, people from other ecosystems are dependent on them too. You must be wondering how. In India, the Himalayan mountains act as a barrier and prevent the icy cold winds of the north from entering the country. So, this affects our climate and makes it temperate in nature. The forests in the mountains provide timber and wood products for daily use. Mountains are also a source of minerals. Most rivers like the Ganga originate in the mountains and are fed by the mountain glaciers. So they provide water round the year. Many of these rivers provide water for the hydroelectric power generation and irrigation of agricultural fields. Mountains are centers of biodiversity where various kinds of plants and animals are found living together. Mountains have beautiful spots that attract tourists and thus provide employment to people and help in livelihood. Plateaus. The vast area of flat elevated land that is generally bounded by steep slopes is known as a plateau. Since plateaus are flat and without any relief, they are also called tablelands. Nearly 45% of the land surface is covered by plateaus. Some plateaus extend over thousands of kilometers. Types of plateaus. Plateaus are of three types based on their formation. Intermontane plateaus. High plateaus surrounded by mountains are called intermontane plateaus. The plateau of Tibet is the highest intermontane plateau in the world, with a height of 4,000 to 6,000 meters above the sea level. Some other examples are the plateau of Bolivia, the East African plateau in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Lava plateaus. The lava that flows from the vents of volcanoes causes the formation of lava plateaus. The Deccan Plateau in India was formed in a similar manner. The Columbia Plateau covers about 5 lakh square kilometers of the Earth's surface. Crustal plateaus. These are formed when the magma below the lithosphere pushes the crust on top but is unable to break through. As a result, the entire flatland surface above it is uplifted. This forms a crustal or continental plateau. The high plateaus of East Africa and Ethiopia were formed this way. Why are plateaus important? Plateaus are important for the following reasons. Most plateaus have important natural resources and are rich in minerals. The Chota Nagpur Plateau in India is rich in coal, mica, iron ore, and other minerals. As a result, many mining areas in the world are located in plateaus. Many plateau regions are suitable for cultivation. For example, the Deccan Plateau contains black soil, which is excellent for the cultivation of cotton. Often, plateaus are places of tourist interest, especially where waterfalls are found on steep slopes. For example, the Sivasamudram Falls in the Deccan Plateau attracts a lot of tourists. Besides, the waterfalls on these plateaus are often used for hydroelectric power. A good example is the Jog Falls in India. The plains. Relatively flat or gently rolling lowlands are called plains. These may extend from a few to thousands of kilometers, such as the Indo-Gangetic Plains of India. Plains cover 1/3 of the Earth's land surface and are found on every continent except Antarctica. They are generally not more than 200 meters above the sea level. Map shows the major plains of the world. These plains are formed by the depositional and erosional activities of external forces such as rivers and their tributaries. There are three types of plains. Tectonic plains. These are formed by internal forces causing uplift of sea coasts, such as the low-lying coastal plains of the Malabar coast along the western sea coast of India. Erosional plains. These are formed when the actions of rivers, glaciers and wind erode higher levels of land for years. The interior plains of Canada have been downcut by erosion. Depositional plains. These are formed by the accumulation of deposits. These are of many kinds. Alluvial plains are formed by the deposition of silt, gravel, particles of sand, etc. by rivers which accumulate over time, such as the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Till plains found in North America and Europe have been formed by glacial deposits of clay, sand, gravel, and boulders carried by ice. Wind action accumulates sand to form desert plains, such as the Sahara Desert. Why are plains important? Among all landforms, plains are the most valuable to humans. Therefore, they have become densely populated and are centers of industry, transportation, and business. River plains have also been the centers of ancient civilizations. Some of the major reasons are given below. Water. An important resource for humans, agriculture, and industry is easily available in the plains. The level land helps in building houses, roads, and railways. The rivers too can be used for transportation. Plains generally have fertile soil suitable for agriculture. Besides, the flat land is easily cultivable.